Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the FourSevens Preon P2 2 times AAA battery Penlight. And I want to thank my buddy Adam for sending this as well as another little Penlight along here. Thank you very much for that. And let's do a quick little size comparison here. First off, this is the Streamlight ProTac 2 times AAA. So you can see the Preon is actually notably smaller. This is the EGTAC D25A, which is one of my very favorite everyday carry lights. Phoenix UC35, which is a grade 18650 light, and then some batteries, just for a sense of scale. Here's a AAA battery, like this guy uses. Here's a AA. Here's an 18650 CR123 battery, and standard US quarter and a Leatherman Wave. Why not, right? So anyways, that's the size of the thing. And then finally, the price on this guy is $50, although at the moment it's on sale for $40 through the manufacturer. I don't know if that's forever or what, but either way, there it is. So let's go into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of this interesting little Penlight. So on the good side, first off, this guy uses a pretty commonly available battery type. AAA batteries are available pretty much anywhere in the US at least. You walk into a grocery store, a gas station, whatever, you're going to find some AAAs, and that's nice if you're traveling and you run out of juice or something like that and you're away from a recharger. Unlike batteries like an 18650 or a CR123, where you're going to have a little bit more trouble there and you're going to pay out the nose for them. So it's nice to be on a standard. It's also nice because this can use, if you use rechargeable batteries in your house, it can use your same batteries. That's a beautiful thing. Next thing is the switch is nice in that it is clicky, but it also has some travel before the click, and you can turn it on without clicking it, which is good both for silent issues, if that's a problem for you, and as well as, for mode selection, because mode selection is done by multiply clicking this guy. That's how you switch from high to low, and so what you can do is go to low and then click it the rest of the way, and you set on low. Nice little thing, and you don't have to click, 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 etc. Beautiful. The surface texture on this guy is kind of nice. It's not too aggressive, but it gives you something to grab onto. It doesn't eat your hands particularly, doesn't eat what's in your pocket. I like the texture. Next thing, there are two modes on this guy. The high mode is 220 lumens and gives you about an hour of runtime, which is okay. And the low mode is about 10 lumens and gives you about 20 hours, which is also very okay. And so, there you go. Those runtimes are fine. I mean, it works. There is some reprogrammability for this guy. It's not necessarily, I think it's on maybe some of the later ones, but it could be throughout the lineup here. But they allow you to add in, for instance, a medium mode, or throw a disco mode in there if that's your joy. That's nice. It's always good to have the options, but the interface is pretty simple in and of itself. If you press once, you get whatever mode you were in last. You pressed again, you get yourself a high mode, or you swap to the other one. It's good. The light coming out of this guy is nice in that it is pretty floody. There's not really a strong hot spot to it. I mean, it's definitely not completely even, but at the same time, in my experience, in my everyday life, a nice floody beam tends to be a little bit more useful than a very spotty one. Some people are going to disagree and have different uses, but still. I like the floodiness of this relative to your more spotty pocket lights. Then finally, it's not black. So many of these damn flashlights these days are black, and you need the object to be findable in the dark, and so you make it dark. No, doesn't make sense. So I like the fact that there's a blue option, although you can get it in black if you're tactical like that. So that's your good. It's not just in black. It's got some nice flood to it. The clip is nice. I forgot to mention that, but it is. The run times are okay. There is some reprogrammability, there we go, that's the word. You get two modes, there's a nice surface texture, there's a nice easy switch, and it uses a pretty commonly available battery. Let's talk about what's nice here. No, that was a Freudian slip. I said let's talk about what's nice here, because great, nothing really super great. What I settled on being the best thing about it is the form factor, in that it is kind of this Penlight thing, which makes it very, very thin overall. This is something that will disappear in your jeans pocket or in your shirt pocket relatively plausibly, and in a way, it's thinner than, for instance, this AA light right here. It's thinner than a lot of your other smaller everyday carry light options, so I guess I like the Penlight form factor. And you also still do get some duration fraction of runtime, as opposed to the little tiny 1 AAA lights, which are, they provide you with fine light for like 5 minutes or something like that. They're better than that, but still. Great, I don't know, but what's probably best is this form factor. It can have its advantages for certain uses. As you can see, the passion is just not bubbling out of me here at this point. Let's talk about what's bad. So on the bad side, first off, the finish on this guy, which I do like, does kind of really show some wear. You can see they've anodized the metal or something along those lines, and, my buddy Adam has carried this substantially, and so, as a result, you can see these little wear patterns. It's okay, it leads to a little bit of a wabi-sabi aesthetic, but, that's something you got to keep in mind. Next thing is that the tail standing ability of this is not very good. A lot of lights include some sort of a little ring around the switch so that you can set them down and point them up, for instance, at the roof of a tent or the roof of a small room in order to provide sort of an overhead light. This guy, you can kind of do it on a very flat surface because the button itself is flat, but it's pretty tenuous. The center of gravity, so something to keep in mind. Next thing, the price on this guy feels a little bit high at $50. I mean, it's okay, but it just doesn't feel like value in any way, shape, or form to me. Especially given some of the other lights available in that price range. I don't know, doesn't bring me joy there. Then finally, I am a bit of a tint snob. Different flashlights have different tint. You can have something that gives very good color rendering that makes the light look great and really shows off the variety of colors in front of whatever you're looking at. And then there's something like this guy, which gives you a very cool, very green sort of light. It's not a great demonstration because these bulbs up here, light in my field, are pretty high in the color rendering, but still. This puts out kind of an ugly bluish light that I just don't love. So to me, that's bad. At the price, okay, I guess. But still, I hope that they make some improvements there in the future, because it really is, once you start using lights with higher color rendering, it really starts to feel lacking when you don't have it. Hedonic adaptation's a pain, but there it is. So that's what's bad to me. The color rendering is just not good coming out of this guy, very cold and bluish. The price feels high, doesn't feel like a great value. The tail standing on it is just barely there, and the finish on this shows considerable wear. Let's talk about the ugly. On the ugly side, the switch on this guy is pretty prominent and pretty easy to turn on. With just a little bit of pressure, you can turn this guy on, and this gets to be problematic given how far this cap sticks up above. So if you have this in your pants and then you bend over, for instance, it's very easy to have your flashlight come on in your pocket. This is not a super high power flashlight, such that you're going to light yourself on fire or burn yourself, but what you could very easily do is drain the battery a lot quicker than you anticipate. Especially because you only get an hour or so of the high mode. If it happens to be on high mode, when you bend over and trigger this guy, it's very easy to find yourself with a dead flashlight. There's a good reason why a lot of clicky tail switch lights have a surround around the switch, so that if you just press kind of stupidly, if you just kind of give it unilateral force, you're not going to turn it on. Instead, you need to go inside there and actually turn the light on. You need to press into the center. And, I think that's a brilliant approach. And again, here on this Phoenix, you can see there are at least these guards on the side here that mean if you're just pressing up against it, it's harder to trigger. But, nonetheless, I don't like the single exposed tail switch for precisely that reason. It's a little bit ugly, and I'd like to have seen them put something a little bit there to guard it. It's a little harder given how small the diameter is here and how thick fingers can be. But, I don't know, that's one advantage to a really hard-to-press switch like you get on this Streamlight over here. But, that's got its own set of ugly. So, anyways, that's the ugly to me, is this switch is pretty easy to accidentally turn on. Let's go into the final conclusions. My final conclusion on this light is that this is fine. I mean, if you just need a Penlight form factor, it's not a bad approach. It puts light in front of you. It works okay, but the thing is, it doesn't make me passionate either, and there's zero temptation to go pick one of these guys up. And the reason for that is, well, it is so much better to go to something like this little guy, the TAC D25A. This guy happens to be in titanium, but you can get him in steel as well. And if you go to something like this, you're getting more lumens, you're getting better control, you're getting 3 modes and a nice rotary, it's not rotary, but nonetheless, a nice approach to be able to turn the mode you want on before you even turn the thing on. You're getting longer run times, you're getting a smaller package overall. I mean, seriously, this is a smaller light. And you're paying roughly the same price. The only disadvantage here is that this light is thicker than the other light, but at the same time, I mean, oh, it's much nicer to carry. And so if you don't need this super thin shirt pocket Penlight sort of form factor, I wouldn't go here at all. I would recommend that you head this direction and look at some of the other nice AA single CR123 lights out there in the world. But the thing is, if you do need a Penlight, this is okay. You know, it's not one of the pieces that feels, oh my God, really smartly designed, or oh my God, well made. But it is also better than some of the alternatives out there in the Penlight world, and, you know, it definitely does put light in front of you. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. It's not a gem. It's nowhere near a gem, but the thing is, it's not junk either. It works fine. It's a flashlight, and if it seems like it's a good fit for you, okay, have fun. So, wish I could have a little more passion, but alas, that's life. Hope this review lit up your life nonetheless, and that you have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.